Welcome into Moving the Chains. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jerel Hendricks. Got a great interview lined up for you guys today. We've got a season preview of the 2022 Hannah-Pamplico Raiders with their head coach, Jamie Johnson. Coach, how you doing today?
Good. I appreciate y'all having me on. Thanks for everything y'all do in the state.
That's right. We appreciate your time. We know you're getting ready to get practice going here in a day or two, so definitely appreciate you carving out some time for us. If this is you guys' first time checking us out, give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google as well for your podcast needs. Coach Johnson's heading into his 7th season here with the Raiders. Coach, give the fans a little bit of background about your coaching career and where you got started.
I actually helped. I've been around several Hall of Famers, so I've been very blessed in my career. So worked for Coach Amick at Columbia High School. Good dude. Went on to work for Jay Fry at Richmond Northeast High School. Then moved on to work at Strom Thurmond High School and worked for Coach Lee Sawyer. Went to West Florence and worked for Trey Woodbury for 2 years. Then went back to Strom Thurmond for a year as Coach Hillary's offense coordinator, and then got the job here at HP. So kind of been everywhere, but been very blessed to coach for some very, very quality head coaches there, and learned a lot along the way. So,
well, that's good news there. It's always good to learn from some legends, but you're carving out quite the career for yourself so far. For teams who haven't seen the Raiders play, what types of schemes are you guys running offensively and defensively? And you got that offensive background. Are you very instrumental or calling plays there?
Yeah, I still call plays. I think that's part of the fun. I think, at one point I contemplated giving it up, play calling, but, Coach Sawyer and Coach Hillary both great advice there. Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it, so we've always had some good offenses here since I've been here. We haven't really struggled to score points. It's been defense, but I'm excited about what we're doing on defense now. We've transitioned back to the 4-2-5. Ball coach Fields back. So we got co-defense coordinators, but we are much improved from the spring into the summer. So I'm excited about that side of the ball. And then, we're the outlier in 1A football. So everybody wants to stop the run and run the football, but we're the opposite. We're going to throw it 50 times a game and run the air raid and dink and dunk and see where it gets us. Last year in 8 games, and only 8 games because of COVID, some games were canceled, but we broke the single season passing record last year in just 8 games. So I'm excited to see what we get with a full season this year with a lot of good pieces back. So I think we'll still be fun to watch.
Nice. You mentioned kind of that air raid style. Are there any coaches at the collegiate or NFL level you kind of try to really watch and get some ideas from here and there?
Well, I loved actually when I was at West Florence, we went out and watched Kyle Richardson and them practice at Northwestern, and I love what they did, and they were on and off the field. And I've never seen as many footballs as that. I wish I could afford that many footballs, but there's 50 footballs flying all over the place. But we can't afford that many yet. But I loved what he did. Of course, you follow Coach Leach. I read all that kind of stuff. I love what West Virginia's doing. So I definitely get some influences all over the place, but and then kind of combine it with stuff over the years. So what has worked and then kind of combine it with some of that air raid stuff.
So you mentioned you're doing the air raid. I would assume that you guys have done a lot on the 7-on-7 circuit. How'd your spring go and how did your summer go, your summer workouts and those 7-on-7 tournaments go for you guys?
Well, spring was great because we didn't get anybody hurt. So that's first and foremost. So that was good, especially at a small school. But, we did a few different things than, what we have been. We played in more tournaments this summer than we have been. We played in the Jerel tournament, and I think would have been in the championship game, but the heat got us. So we had to quit before lunchtime there. Went to Charleston Southern. We would have been the 5 seed, but the tournament part also was canceled there. And there were a lot of great teams down there. Myrtle Beach, Clover was there, Barnwell, et cetera. So we were by far the smallest school. So I think it's been a great summer. We went to Dillon most of the time. So anytime if you can go and compete at Dillon with Dillon and Hartsville and all those teams, then you're gonna usually be pretty good. But I think the kids understand it better after transitioning to it. couple years ago. I think they get it. So, I'm interested to see what it's going to look like when we go scrimmage next week.
There you go. So you're having to replace a few key guys like quarterback Xander Poston, playmaker Cyrus Ellison, Floyd Edie, and other guys. What kind of team do you guys have coming back? Any special guys that we should be on the lookout for this season?
Well, those guys are unbelievable. I literally just got off the phone with Cyrus on the way back, but so I'm excited for all of those guys. But we're excited for this team. I think there's still a lot of good pieces. Tay Sellers at receiver. That's Lenore's, his cousin from South Florence, and he's getting his own looks. I think he's going to be a D1 receiver. Showed out at Shrine Bowl Combine. He was the MVP of the lower state Palmetto Combine Series. So, I think he's going to have an unbelievable year. I think he's more of a polished receiver than Cyrus was. So I think he's going to have a good year. And then we got Josh McNeil back at receiver and James Davis back. So we got 3 of the guys back at receiver. And actually, I feel pretty good about where we're at. I think I got 6 or 7 guys that can go at receiver. So I'm excited there. Jamarcus Williams is going to step into the running back role. He played corner for us last year. He's going to do both, but he's going to be special. He's an unbelievable athlete. He plays 4 sports. He loves baseball, but I think he's bought into the football. So I'm excited to see him tote it. And then I think Wade Poston's really going to step into the role, but that Xander left at quarterback. I think he's more of a technician at quarterback. Xander had only played 2 years of football, and his second year of football he breaks the passing record. So, but I think Wade could be a dude. I think he could be even more special than Xander was. So he goes and works with Perry Orth, and does the QB1 training or whatever, and does all that. So he wants to be good. So I think as long as he has that want to, and if he takes on that leadership role, I think we're going to be all right.
So, Coach, with the smaller schools, the 1A, 2A, numbers can always be a challenge. How are you looking as far as your numbers? I know you say you run the air raid, you got 6 or 7 guys, but how are you looking numbers-wise, and how many guys you got going both ways for you?
Oh, we got a ton going both ways. The best dudes have got to go. So that's just, like obviously, Wade actually played safety for us last year. And I'm like, listen, he's our QB. He can't, but into a region play, because, that's kind of the philosophy. Like, let's not get him hurt in non-conference, but, hey, let's go win the region championship. So he's got to play safety. Let him get in there and do it. So that's kind of been the philosophy. But, numbers have actually been pretty good, here, since I've got here. My first year, we had 22 kids on the team, went 8-2, had a great year. They hadn't had that kind of success in forever, but, this group reminds me of that group. Like, they're very hard working. They don't really open their mouth or complain about anything. They just work. So this group reminds me of them, and they only had 22, but, I think we can do some special things. Right now, if we started tomorrow and nobody else shows up, then we'd have like 34 on the varsity team, which isn't bad at a small school. That's pretty good. So our thing is just can't get anybody hurt. So we're trying to, people think I'm crazy, but I mean, we might not, we might have to limit some hitting, during practice weeks, during game weeks and stuff, just because, I mean, let's get to Friday. We feel like we could do some things, but not if you get them hurt on a Tuesday. So.
Sure.
Yeah. You mentioned saving a couple guys for region play, and you guys play in a super tough region, that region 6-1A with Green Sea Floyd's, Lakeview, Lamar, Latta. How much, maybe fun's not the right word, but how cool is it to play some of those heavy hitters throughout the season that you're going to see come down the playoffs if you guys go deep as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I joked with somebody today that at the news or whatever, it's basically the SEC East of 1A football. So, I mean, you got literally the traditional powers in it, and we like to be mentioned in that conversation. So, ideally, when I first got hired and everything, you try to model your program after a Lakeview. So, and I think we're very similar, and somebody told me the other day that I think I'm one of the only active head coaches to beat them multiple times, I think. I think we beat them twice since I've been here, and they had only beat them one time in school history before I got here. So in 60 years, They'd beat them one time. So I like to think we're heading in the right direction there. And, you know, we know if you can be a 3 seed, you can make a big run in the playoffs. So, you know, no matter what happens, but home field advantage, I think, is going to help, and whoever's the healthiest when you get there. So, you know, one guy can make a difference come when you're playing a Lakeview or you're playing a Lamar or whoever. So,
Coach, you kick off the season, you go by going up to McBee. You're a McBee alum. How cool is it to go up there and start off?
It's pretty cool going home, and like a lot of the, you know, my cousins and stuff can't, you know, they don't make the drive to Pamplico often or whatever, but they can get to McBee there. So I get to see a bunch of people that I don't normally see. You know, it's weird, definitely on the opposite side. You know, we've been back there twice. It's kind of weird being on that side of it, but you know, I joked, I was like, I'd like to finish my career not losing to McBee. So we haven't lost yet, but Coach Klein's done a good job. He's going to have a great team this year. So I think it'll be a good kickoff game. But we always, if the boys win, we get them a couple boxes of peaches. So my dad brings a couple boxes of peaches. So that's how we celebrate, is eat the McBee peaches. So
it's tough to beat those. It's tough to beat those. That's a big time motivation. I know we talked about some summer stuff, and, you know, obviously your schedule coming up. Do you guys have any, you know, scrimmages and jamboree, and do you have a jamboree lineup already?
Yeah, we're going to scrimmage. We're going 6-way scrimmage at Jerel next week. That'll be tough. A lot of 2A teams in there. You know, I think we're the only small school. Then we go to Philip Simmons on that next Monday for a scrimmage. Eric does a great job down there. My boy down there, and Culver's Bay was supposed to be there, but I think they just backed out today. So we're trying to find another third team. And then we go to the Lake City Jamboree. We always, 10 minutes down the road. So, and we got a tough test there. We play Timberland in that. So, you know, hopefully we don't get beat up too bad before we even get to McBee. But, you know, but a lot of these, you know, last year we played 17 freshmen. They got considerate time, you know, a lot of time in games. So we want them to grow up fast. So, you know, we kind of want to throw Wade into the fire and you know, at quarterback and see how he's going to do. And nothing like, you know, going to a Philip Simmons or somewhere and seeing how we stand up.
That's awesome. So you also serve as the athletic director at Hannah-Pamplico. We've noticed you guys have made some major upgrades to the stadium there. Can you give us an update of what's going on?
Oh, man, yeah, our admin, our superintendent, our principal, our, you know, board, our school board, they're unbelievable. Their dedication to athletics since I've got here is, you know, we've transformed this entire campus. I mean, there's not a facility that hasn't been touched. So we kind of, on purpose, you know, we kind of were like, you know, it's time to do something to the football stadium. You know, we purposely put it last. You know, I try to be a fair AD, so I don't want people to say like, oh, you know, football gets everything. So, you know, we've been able to get in there, and they've told me actually they were out there with the blowers earlier today. I think they're going to finish up. So it's turned out great. So we went from basically our home side held like 250 people. I mean, it was concrete, like little slabs that actually were upside down because they put them on wrong, and then the company just gave them to them because they put it on wrong. So it literally would go from, and people would bring their own chairs and sit on the hill and stuff. So it was kind of cool, and we wanted to keep some of that, you know, that tradition, that legacy. So we built the new stands into the hill, but instead of 250 people, now it holds, you know, 1,500 people on the home side. So it's, you know, a huge upgrade. I think the press box should have been condemned a long time ago, but we actually had a coach fall down the steps like a couple of years ago, like down the back, and I thought he was going to go all the way down the hill, and I was like, oh man, like it's. So I think that might have been the last straw. That's why we get new bleachers. So I hate, you know, it happened to him, but hey, in the grand scheme of things, you know, hey, we get a new stadium out of it. So.
You got to take what you can get. You know, you don't want to get those lawyers involved and all that stuff.
No workers' comp.
You guys use the hashtag swing the sword with the win capitalized. You know, what does that mean to your program, really?
Well, I mean, I could give you the whole long spiel, basically. But, you know, basically we talk about, if we do things right, so we're big on family. So if you believe in our ideals, so faith, attitude, mental toughness, integrity, love in you, then you're going to win. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep fighting. You're going to keep swinging the sword. We talk about how we want our feet grounded where we are. We're going to look forward. You can't win a sword fight looking behind you. Like we don't do that. We're continuously looking forward, and we want to see what's the next thing. We get a brand new stadium and all these great things because we've had great classes go before, the current guys. So we make sure that we're looking ahead. Like, you're the next group. Like, what are we going to get next because of y'all? So and hopefully it's a championship. So they haven't done that here. It's not really a winning legacy here. So we've been able to do a lot of special things. But we say if we focus on the small things, you focus. We're always going to be prepared. When you're sword fighting, you always want your sword up. You don't drop it down and all this. So we're going to be prepared. We're going to always be focused on our opponent forward, one at a time. I'm not going to, fight all these different. I'm going to focus on the guy in front of me trying to defeat this guy. So that's just a little snippet of it or whatever. But we know if you focus on the right things, then the win will take care of itself, which is why it's capitalized there. So the win will come if you focus on the right thing. So it's kind of just a little bit of it, but I'm big on culture over strategy. I think if you have a strong culture, and we've been able to win a lot of games in the fourth quarter because our culture is strong. And I think our kids buy into what we do. I'm a Gamecock, but I do love some of the stuff Dabo does, up there. So we've kind of adopted some of that and mixed it in some of our stuff. Our guys know that I'm going to preach culture and anything. Like, if you ain't cleaning up in the locker room, et cetera, like, the small things matter. So.
Well, that's great stuff, Coach. I know you're looking forward, but we got to look back a little bit to the last season. You had some tough losses, some one-score losses in region, and then you lost to the eventual lower state champion Bamberg Earhart by 4 points in the first round of the playoffs. How has that kind of motivated your group that you've got coming back going into this year, knowing you were, you're close to playing for a state championship, you're playing right there with Bamberg at the end?
Yeah, we basically. And our kids know we kind of, threw the region championship away, to be honest. Like, you had beat Lakeview out the gate in region play, played a stellar game here. Best we've looked, I think, in in a long time, in 7 years. So we looked pretty good. And then we get in a shootout with Johnsonville, who's got a great tailback. Definitely not good performance on defense. I mean, we throw for 500 yards and lose, so that one stings. And then, we had a chance. Our kid was trying to make a play, fumbling the ball, on the 20-yard line going in on the kickoff return. So, like, he was just trying to make a play, but, and then you have Green Sea here, a couple calls. I'm not going to harp on officiating or the high school league. I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But, we were right there. And then, we told them, like, we dropped because the tiebreaker's to a 4 seed, but we knew we were better than a 4 seed. And that's what we're saying in the new region. I mean, if you're a 3 seed, you can go make a run. We feel like we match up with a lot of people in the lower state because 3 of the best teams, 3 or 4, will be in our region. So if you can match up, and we thought we matched up well with Bamberg. We went down there. One of my coaches, when we got done, I hate moral victories. I don't believe in that. I want to win. I don't care if it's checkers or whatever we're playing. I just beat the boys at putt-putt. I don't want to take it easy. We're in the media day and smoked them in putt-putt, but I don't care what it is. I like to compete, and we knew we could go compete with them. We knew we could throw the ball on them. Had our chances. We had the ball on the half-yard line in the first half. Didn't come out with a score. Got nothing right before time ran out at the half. And then, had a chance on 4th down to still win it at the end of the ball game, and we drop a ball in the end zone. And so we're a play away from, making a run and going to do something that hadn't been done before. I mean, Bamberg is tough, but, one of my coaches was like, we've never competed with them. We've always gone and gotten blown out and gone down there and lost by 50 the first time, a couple, before I got here, two 2 years before I got here, I think they lost by 50 something or something down there. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to just, compete. We want to be the next Battenberg. We want to think that we're laying the foundation for, in 50 years, they're talking about us like we're Battenberg. So that's what we want to do. I know that sometimes you got to, smell the roses, I guess, as they say, or you take a minute and say, hey, we have done a lot, but I just, until we get there, I'll stop back then. But I'm hungry to get back there. I hope we see him again this year. So
a couple easier ones here, Coach, before we let you go. You're a South Carolina grad. Thoughts on Coach Beamer's tenure so far there?
Oh, I think he's done an unbelievable job. He's big on the culture too. You can see a night and day difference when you go visit facilities, visit camps, and all that stuff. He seems genuinely interested in high school coaches and high school football. I mean, I've told him, my buddy actually works in the video department over there, and I told him when we went to camp, I've heard more from the current staff than I did the previous 5 years combined. So in 1 year, I've heard more from them. So it all starts, if the high school coaches feel alienated, then, that says something. There's a reason why, Dabo's been successful in our state and can kind of get, who he wants for a long time, is because he had that relationship with guys. So I think that matters when you're meeting with coaches and you're willing to, hey, come watch practice. We'll give you everything. We'll do this. That stuff matters. So I think he's got it on the right track. Definitely picked up some big pieces the off season. So I'm excited to see him. Cyrus, I hope, makes the travel squad. So hopefully October 1st, I'll go check him out against the Gamecocks. So.
Yeah.
So, Coach, are you still coaching soccer as well?
No, we actually don't have soccer here, but I did that at Strom Thurmond, which, the AD at the time, Coach Scott, unbelievable guy. I loved him to death. He goes, hey, man, I need you to also do soccer. I was like, I don't know anything about soccer. He goes, let me tell you something. They haven't won a game in 3 years. So there's not extremely high expectations, but I'll tell you that the 3 years I did it, we went to the playoffs every year and stuff. So like it come a long way. So, but it actually was fun. It taught me some things, It taught me I don't want to do soccer again, but it did teach me some things.
All right, so we'll leave that one alone then.
So, Coach, got to ask you this one. Being down at Hannah-Pamplico, do you have a favorite Josh Turner song?
I don't know. I mean, we play his, I've tried to incorporate a lot of that into kind of who we are too, or whatever. So at our athletic events, we actually play his version of the national anthem now. So
nice.
We started doing that a few years ago, and it's kind of taken off. Our longtime track coach actually passed away last year. He was here 50-something years, and he actually was at the funeral, so kind of got to talk to him a second, but that was pretty cool. But I don't know. I still like Long Black Train. I think
tough to beat that one.
Yeah, it's tough to beat off the rip. That his gospel album's good too. He's got his Christian album's good, so I like that one as well.
Yeah, we're big Josh Turner fans over here, so always like it.
Well, I'm trying to get him. Maybe he'll come back and sign a Raider baseball jersey or whatever. He actually played baseball here, so
there we go.
Auction off something and get a baseball jersey, make some money.
There you go.
I don't know if he's listening to us, but we'll see what we can do for you. But as always, we always got to do this on Moving the Chains. Got to throw in a food question. I'm down there, either Hannah or Pamplico. Where am I getting the best meal down there?
Well, it depends on what you're in the mood for and how far you want to kind of go, I guess. I don't know, So, I mean, in town, there's Pearl Harbor Seafood is really good. Kind of everybody goes there, but if you want good barbecue, you got Rodney Scott's there in Hemingway, not too far away. So you can't argue with that. And then if you're willing to go to Georgetown, so a little bit further, if you're trying to get to the coast, then there's a place called Rollin' Local right downtown.
Okay.
Got like unbelievable sushi, hibachi type deal. That's my favorite restaurant, period. So
okay.
like a lobster with like filet mignon on top of it, sushi. Ooh. Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay.
That would be my choices right there.
I tell you, that Scott's barbecue is tough to beat if you're looking for some good barbecue, man.
Yeah. If you're in the mood for barbecue, I mean, you got to have cash. You got to take cash. Yeah. But every college recruiter that comes by here, like, they're either going there or coming from there. And, one, Coach Johnson from Charleston Southern literally made, like, he went back into town, like, all over the place to get cash. He had to get his wife to, like, cash app him some money and then, like, use his phone at the CVS and, like, to get cash and all that just to go to Rodney's barbecue.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Well, last one here, Coach, before I let you go. What are some of your goals for the 2022 season?
Well, we want to start healthy. If we can get into region play, our non-conference is tough. So, if we can compete against some of those, power 2A teams, then we feel pretty good about competing in the region. We've played since I've been here, going into year 7. We've played for 4 region titles, but we haven't won it yet. So I would like to finally get over that hump. So if we could, get to Lakeview and have a shot at the end, that'd be great. So I'd take that tomorrow if we just had a shot at it, game 10. So and then if you can compete there, you can compete on the state level. So if you can compete in our region, we can compete in the playoffs. But I'm excited for this group, and I think we're going to be a lot better than people think. I think some people think the Raiders will be down, losing Cyrus and those. But, I think we're going to surprise some people.
Well, this has been great. Definitely want all our listeners and viewers to go check out Coach Johnson, the Raiders, on Twitter. He does a great job with highlights, keeping people up to date on what's going on with that program. So check them out there. If you could follow us as well at Movin the Chains on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., Twitter, also Spotify, Google for our podcast places. Joe, anything else for Coach before we let him go here today?
Man, just continued success, Coach. Looking forward to the season you guys are having. I really think y'all can build off of last year. We've got some really good buddies from Pamplico, and they always talk about the community there. So I know y'all are stoked about the new stadium and everything you've got going on, and we just wish you a successful and healthy season in 2022.
I appreciate it. Hey, if y'all ever get down, come on, sit up in the press box and in the air conditioner, since we got air conditioner now. So
we'll do it. We appreciate it, Coach. Look forward to stopping by sometime this year and getting to meet you, and best of luck this upcoming season.
Thank y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do for the state.